for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake Labarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I feel I should enlighten anyone here who didn't go to school in Canada about Robert Service's poetry. Maybe people don't know where the Yukon is. Well, I'll start that out with saying if you go to San Diego and take a right, a pretty long ways and you'll get to Alaska. Then you take another right and you'll be in the Yukon. In about 1880, there was a prospector by the name of George Cormack had heard a rumor that there was some gold to be found in the Yukon River. And he went up prospecting, and I believe at the time, if you got a dime's worth out of a pan of gold, it was classed as commercial. And his first pan brought him $2.80 worth, which brought on the biggest gold rush the world has ever seen. And it brought all kinds of people to the Yukon. One of them was Robert Service, went up to work in the bank and set about writing poetry about the Yukon. And one of his better ones, I feel anyway, is, I'm going to give it to you now for the last time, and I promise this is the last time. The cremation of Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Now, why he left his home in the South to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. And he'd often say in his homey way that he'd sooner live in hell. Now, it was a Christmas day. We were bushing our way across the Dawson Trail. Now, you talk of you're cold. Through the park's fold, it felt like a driven nail. If our eyes we closed, our eyelashes just froze, till at times we couldn't see. And one much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very same night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were all dancing heel and toe, he turns to me and Cap, says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking you won't refuse my last request. Well, he looked so low that I couldn't say no. And he says with a sort of a moan, it's this cursed gold. It's got right hold. I'm chilled through to the bone. Now, it ain't being dead that's my awful dread. It's that icy grave that pains. I want you to swear, whether foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains. Well, a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. And we were on the trail at the streak of dawn. God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the slate, he raved all day about his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left to Sam McGee. Now there wasn't a breath in the land of death as I hurried horror-driven. With the corpse half hid, I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh that seemed to say, you may test your brain and brawn, but you promised true. Now it's up to you to cremate these last remains. Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. And every night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring, they howl their woes to the homeless snows. God, how I loathe that thing. But on we went, the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and I'd hearken back with a grin. Till we came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, and I saw in a trice. 'Twas called the Alice May. Now I looked at it, I thought of it. And I looked at my frozen chum, and then said I with a sudden cry, "Here is my crematorium." So the planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was laying around, and I heaped the fuel on higher. Now the flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you'll seldom see. And I buried a hole in the burning coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. But then I made a hike, trying to like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, yet the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an achy cloak went streaking down the sky. I don't know how long in the snow I wandered my grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about before I ventured near. I was sick with dread, and I bravely said, "I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked. It's time I looked." And the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and he wore a smile you could see for a mile. And he said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, and I greatly fear you'll let in the cold in this storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm."